This will be an international lightweight contest scheduled for 4 rounds. So let's bring the principals into the ring. Botswana's very own Maobi Nqaka. Well, he'll be up against the man from South Africa, Sifiso Hlongwane. So this will be an international lightweight contest, like I said, scheduled for 4 rounds. First of all, fighting out of the blue corner, he hails right here from Botswana. He weighed in at 59.7 kilograms. He's wearing the red trunks. He's making his debut here tonight in this ring. Let's make him feel nice, warm and welcome, Maobi Nqaka. His opponent, the gentleman on my left, your right, he is fighting out of the red corner. He weighed in at 61.05 kilograms. He's wearing the gold trunks. He's had 7 fights, 4 wins, 1 loss, 2 draws. Let's make him feel nice, warm, and welcome. This is Sifiso Hlongwane. Now, your judges for this fight are judges Shamzashe, Nyangeni, and Yakedi. And our referee right here with me is none other than Bruno Inyati.
Gentlemen, you follow my rules. No hands behind the head, and you take care of yourself all the time. Good luck.
Box. So there we are, an international lightweight contest this is, and a young man making his debut, Nqaka from Botswana in the red shorts. A little bit of a reach advantage from the South African, Hlongwane. We've seen Hlongwane on our bills before in African boxing on Fox Sports. And it's going to be an interesting, normally a slow starter. I don't know much about this Nqaka, but I've been told from the boys in the gym that he's useful. That was the word I heard them say, useful. Let's have a look, see how useful he is. Got a wide stance, both these boxers, so tallish young man. Hlongwane, slightly taller. Or maybe it's his hairstyle that makes him look taller. Black and gold, or gold and black on this occasion, from Alan Tawil's gym. A little off balance there, wasn't he? Nqaka, he needs an understanding of how to throw those combinations too. It's almost like he leads with his left and then is fearful that someone's going to hit him harder and open himself up like he did there. Remember, the South African southpaw leads with his right. Referee Nyati just pulls them apart. I think everybody in Botswana is interested to see this young man making his debut. It's different, of course, fighting in the gym compared with fighting in the arena in front of an audience. Just stepped aside, the South African, Hlongwane. Just very careful on the break. Yes, the referee said break. You don't punch on the break. You can break and punch as long as the referee hasn't said break. Interesting, the Sifiso camp was telling me here in Botswana that this young man is, as I say, got some talent. And also they've been watching the previous fights of Hlongwane when he fought on our earlier bills here in Botswana. So they've really come looking for a fight. Now he's gone back to the orthodox style again, Hlongwane, the South African. It's made it a little bit easier now for the Botswanan boxer to understand how to fight against a normal, ordinary southpaw. A bit even that, not too much in it. Even sort of rounds as a start to his professional career.
I would say that both of them were just sizing themselves up in this first round here. You must understand that Nqaka, making his debut here, he turned professional in June. You can see that as a former amateur, he likes to get into his opposition. He wants to get the bout going and wants to do his thing. He must understand in the professional game, it's a different ball game altogether. He's got a bit of spring in his step, and I think he'll do well. The second round could see how much more he shows us. Hlongwane, on the other hand, tall, advantages there, but let's see what happens.
So second round underway. This young man, Maobi Nqaka, actually making his debut. And Sifiso Hlongwane, I've seen him fight a couple of times already, and he's been reasonably talented, I must admit. He's got a record of 7 fights and 4 wins. He's only lost once. He's had 2 draws. And the corner of the man making his debut is complaining about something, but I think it was more the other way around. Nice combinations, quickly but well onto the attack again comes Hlongwane. He's not easy to hit, Hlongwane. Kwab was throwing punches but not really landing with any strength and or on the target. Little bit raw, as I think you can see. He might have all the talent, but he's a bit raw, this Botswana lad, and he could end up in a bit of trouble if he's not careful, because he's fighting against a man who's already had 7 professional fights, and that makes all the difference. Well, that was a good barrage from the young lad. And of course, every punch delivered will be, I can assure you, cheered by this Botswanan crowd. Now he's gone back to southpaw again, the South African. It sort of confuses the young man at the moment as he goes southpaw. It just shows you a little bit of experience. Oh, what a good left from the South African Hlongwane. He's gone back to normal, orthodox, leading with the left. Switching in his style continually, Hlongwane, just to make him a little bit confusing. The novice really coming into the fight. Back again to southpaw, leading with his right.
Don't hurt. No, don't hit behind the head, okay? Box.
Referee Nyati just says no on the back of the head. Nice little left as he was backing out. Lucky he was backing out and not coming in. So he just got that on the side of his head from the South African. Yeah, he's a little bit, you can see it's his first fight in the professional arena. Might have been a good amateur. Oh, we could easily have brought that one. Once again, I think the Hlongwane might well have just edged that one, Ick. I'm not sure about that, but I think I would just give it to the South African.
I would say so, Barry, because he seems to be taking his time and getting into the youngster. The youngster is eager. He's eager to get on with it. He's eager to finish it. But he must realize throwing those punches, he's just being a bit wild at the moment and missing the target. So, you know, the Botswana boxer has potential. Like they said, he has a very good record as an amateur, but this is a professional fight. And he's got to learn a few things. Still rough as a diamond,
yeah.
But still he's got a long way ahead of him. He's only 20, Barry.
That's always a young man.
Seconds
Absolutely
out,
right. This is the
round
experience he
number 3.
needs against a man with a better record. 7 contests, 4 wins, 1 loss and 2 draws. You need something like that if you think you're capable of doing it. It's a 4-rounder. Into the second we go. A little bit of counter punching from the South African, just waits for Nqaka to actually lead, and then comes in behind it. And once again, he's gone into that southpaw position again, leading with his right. And just lets the left come through to the face, and then complete miss from Botswana lad. He's a little too enthusiastic, probably wants to try and end it quickly. And it's not going to happen if he does that sort of thing. That's what he needs, score points. Needs to jab a bit more, get the jab going. Okay, he's a bit different because he's got a shorter jab than the South African. And that's the difference. So in coming behind that, like he did there, the South African, although he doesn't really land on the target.
Break. Break. Box. Break. Break. Don't hold. Don't hold.
It's moved into the final minute of the 3rd round. A lot of aggression being shown by the man making his debut. Nqaka is actually trying to get a move on, but he's not landing any punches. He's doing a lot of aggression. Mind you, there again, Sifiso Hlongwane also not really doing too much damage either.
Break. 110.
Left.
Break. Stop. Stop. Don't twist his neck like that, okay?
Not much to report in that round there. Both trying to throw punches, some wild overhead punches, not landing. The youngster is looking for something. Like I said earlier, he needs to pace himself, you know. He's throwing punches, but he's not landing them, and he's not scoring points in doing so. The holding is frustrating the ref as well. and he's going around the ring, and Hlongwane is using his feet well. He's moving the little boxer around and trying to get him around.
Seconds out. This is the fourth and final round.
So in we go to the fourth and last round of this debut fight for Maobi Nqaka and Sifiso Hlongwane from South Africa. And referee Bruno Nyati actually has a little word with him, or both of them. Just say, come on, lads, let's throw some punches. That's better. That's better. The Botswana lad gets the crowd behind him. A couple of good punches to open up the round from him. And he needs to score a good round.
Don't hurt. Break. Break. Don't hurt.
Once again, the South African just dodges the main danger coming through. And he telegraphs so early. That's the thing with the Botswana. And he pulls his elbow back to release his punch. And you actually, if you're boxing, you can see it happening. You know what's coming and you know how to get out the way. And that's what he's doing. He needs to disguise his punches a lot better than he currently is. Watch that right hand. He pulls it back and then throws it. You can actually see it coming. It gives the South Africans so much more time.
Stop, man. Stop. 10, okay. Come, hey, come.
Referee wants just a little word in. He turns his back on Nqaka, turns his back on Hlongwane. It's a better round here from the Botswana lad. Hlongwane seems to still have the edge of defence by just ducking and bobbing and weaving. Goes back into that southpaw stance again. It's a charge by the Botswana. You can see the rawness of this young man. He needs to understand, I suppose, this is what it's all about. Learning the game, coming into a fight like this. That's a better punch. It shook the South African up, that just gave him a little bit of a surprise. That's a good punch as well. This could be Hlongwane, this could be Nqaka's first round of the fight. Might have come a little bit too late, that's the problem. Good left from the South African as well, walked into it. I think this is going to be a very close scoring fight. It really is, and I think it, well, could easily go either way. It's very, very tight. The South African might have done a little bit too much in the earlier round, couple of rounds, and then Hlongwane came back, I beg your pardon, then Nqaka came back to edge Hlongwane in the final round. Ick?
Yeah, I think the fight could go Hlongwane's way because he had just too much for this youngster. Nqaka showed a bit of experience at the start of the fight. He's opened the fourth round very well. He was aggressive and he landed punches. But like we said, a little bit too late to get onto the cards and make a huge difference on the fight. Here he goes, he attacks Hlongwane, but I think all those points that he's going to score in this round here may have come a little bit too late for him to save himself.
Yeah, I agree with you. It's a little bit too much, but he rushes. Watch how he rushes, and he goes wild and comes through wild. He doesn't get close enough, and already Hlongwane's backing away. There's no damage there to be done if he lands a punch because he's just lost all the power into those punches. So it could well go Hlongwane's way, as you said, but it's going to be tight. But I'm not sure how the judges would have judged the first couple of rounds, but it should go Hlongwane's way, I think, on this one.
And another thing that you notice in these two fighters, the stamina. They haven't got the stamina to go the full 4 rounds.
Yeah, absolutely right. We have a situation where this young man Nqaka is learning, and that's what it's all about. These fights are meant to be just that. Your first fight, you don't expect necessarily to come in there and make a complete change and dominate. And they've given him a good boxer to fight against in his first fight. So there's nothing wrong with the performance. He now just has to go and hone his professional skills in the gymnasiums. That's what he now has to go and do. And I think Hlongwane, the man from Alan Tawil, very famous South African boxing family, the Tawil family, the man with the grey hair. You can see the back of him there, and cutting off the bandages off of his Sifiso Hlongwane's hands at the moment. And the man that now should be able to give us all the details of the fight and how the judges have scored it, ring announcer, Mr. Brian Mulder.
Right, Judge Simon Slumlashi scores the fight 36-40. Judge Tony Ngiwi scores the fight 37-39. Judge Nkedi scores the fight 38-39. The winner by unanimous decision, Sifiso Hlongwane. I think a great round of applause must go through to our gentleman from Botswana who made his debut here tonight. Give him a nice warm round of applause, the vanquished. Give him a nice warm round of applause.